Hey guys, it's Forte again. I don't often make videos this much, but here's a trade idea I have for you guys for tomorrow and maybe next week. We don't know. Right now it's November 17th, 2022, and the trade idea I have is EMPH, Enphase Energy. I know in last night's video I said I don't really understand too much about the solar energy space, but I have done more research, or more like somebody in my Discord has explained to me everything about the solar space. So I'm here to share it. I'm not a super professional at this, but I think it's enough knowledge for me to want to trade this stock. And there's another stock that is going, that's FSLR. It's really popular on Twitter right now because of how the explosive movement that it had in the recent couple weeks. But the problem I have with this stock is that the overhead supply it has about 10 years ago is not 10 years ago, but 14 years ago is there, and it's I want to see something that's already near all-time high where there's very little overhead supply, and that's what brought me to EMPH, which I think it's probably the leading company in this field, right? The reason due today is because let's start with the fundamentals first. Let's start with the technicals first. How about that? Number one, the stock's near all-time high. Yes, we're pretty far above the the initial base that we had in 2000 from the high that I made from 2014. We broke that in 2019, and in the last 3 years, the stock has gone up about a 1700% ish, and now we're near all-time high. And then I see the stock is consolidating the high that I made in 2021 November, which is when the market started crashing, and we're digesting the overhead supply from there. That's why we had a little pullback recently to the the all the key moving averages and tested the previous high, right? And now the stock is tightening up quite a bit, and I think we don't have to. I don't think we need to wait for this thing to break 224, but break above 319 will be enough for me to trade this one. On the daily chart, that will be this candle right here, where a lot of buyers they show up on big volume, and if we're able to break that, because big volume often means there's selling pressure. It's a big distribution day, meaning that likely the chance of the stock price going down after a big volume down day is high. But the thing is that didn't happen on the recent move that Enphase put in EMPH, and the stock price actually recovered above the we're near at the doji of that bar right there. And really, I'm expecting this thing to break 319, and if we do break it on big volume, I'll be more convinced on this trade, right? And yeah, so that's where I want to buy this thing above this high right here. I wouldn't want to buy anywhere before that because we do have a lot of, like, right now we're in this range, right, where all the overhead supply is like piling up right here. So I want to see a clean break, and if we take a look at the 15-minute chart, it is this high right here. Now, what I'm hoping to happen is obviously down to my 15-minute analysis right here. We've gone up today, and then we'll pull back a little bit, and it looks like it's ready to go. And the move is, let me tell you, it is exhausting for the stock to move like this. And if tomorrow morning we can move something like this up to this area, then find some little buyer, and then we start maybe tightening up a little bit, even consolidate a whole week will be pretty nice. And then buy this thing next week will be ideal. But if this thing does trigger tomorrow, I will likely have a position in the trade. And like I said, I'm extremely bullish on the market, and we're below the 200-day moving average. But all these, the S&P, the SPY doesn't show that, but I cannot pull up S&P here. But if you guys do check the Nasdaq and the NYSE and the S&P 500, these last couple of days all have been really we're pulling back on really low volume, which to me is a sign that so sellers are not showing up. They're not that aggressive anymore, and that's often a sign where I want to see, that's often a sign that we're in a bullish environment right now, even though we're below the 200-day moving average. But we'll see, I could be wrong. But let's go in and then talk about the fundamentals on EMPH. So let's talk about the solar space real quick. So as far as I know and what I learned from my Discord, the member, his name is, I'm not going to disclose his name, but You guys should join my Discord. It's in the description, and we talk about the solar space. Now, the solar space is actually a lot smaller than I thought. We don't have a lot of competitors, and they have so for solar energy, they have companies that sell panels. There are companies that sell this thing called micro inverters, right? I'll explain that in a second. And then we also have company that sells the thing that mounts these solar panels onto your roof. So these are the main three core technology we have in the solar space, right? And for solar panels, we have like algae panel, all those other panels, right? I don't like First Solar. I think Canadian solar. They also all sell panels. But as far as I can see right now, the panels do not have exponential growth. They're not what's making a lot of the money in the solar space. What is making a lot of money is the technology that you use to mount the solar panel and this thing called microinverters. The technology used to mount these solar panels onto the roof. We got companies like Array, and then we got companies like SHLS, which let me tell you, they look really good. They do, but the thing is, I don't see a consistent growth in their company's sales and earnings per share. And we do also have a lot of overhead supply that this stock I think needs to digest. So as of right now, I don't want to trade these yet. I think I'll trade them when they're at a higher price, to be honest. But as of right now, I don't want to trade it yet. And so we're down to these micro inverters. Now, what those are, to my understanding, is that they're what converts solar energy into electricity, into like basic electric energy. I think. I am not sure, but I don't really care because I just want to know. Yeah, it is micro inverter to convert usable electricity and installer, blah blah blah. And yeah, sorry, I come to videos unprepared all the time. So we need these. We need microinverters in order to transfer solar energy to electric energy. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to be corrected. And we do have two companies. We have three companies actually in this field. That's it. We only have three. We have Tesla. We have we're not First Solar. Sorry, it's called Solar Edge. That's SEDG, which they have pretty decent chart. Not that decent. They're really choppy. That's the stock. Here's the weekly chart. This is the why I want to trade Enphase. The chart is not so pretty on SEDG. Also, the earnings and sales are not as consistent as EMPH. Enphase by far has the most superior sales and superior earnings per share, and their microinverter are different. They are not as efficient as SEDG, which is the Solar Edge. But what they do is that even though it's not as efficient as the Solar Edge's solar microinverter, but it's not by a big margin. I think Solar Edge has a efficiency of 99.3ish%, whereas Enphase has 97 point something percent. So it's not by a big margin. And the special thing about Enphase Energy is that when one of the solar panel goes down, other ones will still be able to keep on running and absorb sunlight and turn them into energy. Whereas for Solar Edge, if one panel dies, every single one of them dies. And Enphase also has a better app, that connects the microinverter to show you that how much energy is being converted, if the solar panel is working properly, stuff like that. That's what I read in the presentation. I've never used it. I live in the Midwest. We don't use that kind of stuff. And then the last one is Tesla. Now we don't even need to talk about them. Apparently their solar technology is outdated and sucks. And the reason why I'm doing so much fundamental for a company is because we do need to have a little bit of conviction if we want to hold this thing long term. I do believe if Enphase are they're able to put in like let's say 20% in the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, right? I do think this stock may very likely double in the next 8 months or so, maybe even less than that, to $600. Now that's not a target. I'm open-minded, but knowing fundamentals will give me conviction to hold the stock for a longer term. But I am going to have a stop, and my stop is gonna be tight. I'm not gonna give like 8%, 7%. It's gonna be a tight stop like how I trade. But I'm hoping to see this thing never come back after we break this level of the breakout. But like I said, breakouts are really, really risky. In this market, in the last 2 years, it's pretty much doesn't work. And people on Twitter, people everywhere are saying that breakout doesn't work, breakout's not how you want to buy it. But I feel like the atmosphere of this market has changed. It is a little bit different. It's not the same market as it was 2 years ago or last year. And just overall, this is my couple years of trade. It's just it's a feeling thing, right? I think I can use examples and show you guys. For example, CLFD, we break out of this thing right here, and then we broke out this high right here, and the stock really just rallied crazy from there, right? The stock rallied about 50%, and yes, we did come down, but I think earnings today shoved it back up again, and I do think that breakouts are working. We also have stocks like Hilt, where the breakout here pretty much worked pretty nicely, 44%. We came down all the way to test the 50-day moving average. So we have stocks working pretty well in the breakout category. I don't think breaking out is gonna result in a failure. That is, we want people to think that breakout doesn't work, because if breakout always works, it's not going to make money. And I think we're at an environment where people think breakouts are not working. And that is when I want to trade breakouts. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.